All righty. So just find a position that works for you. You can begin laying down or seated on your heels, just a place where you can relax and focus on your breath for a few minutes. And see if you can begin to feel the ribs expand out to the sides on the inhales. And just allow the exhales to happen naturally. And see if you can allow the ribs to expand out to the sides on the inhales. And then exhale. Do that a few more times. And each time, just allowing it to be more effortless and continuing to blow the ribs up, but it's not so much effort. Exhale. And then wherever you are, if you're laying down on the ground, bring the hands to the body. You can have one hand on the chest and one hand on the belly. You can do that if you're seated, or you can bring the hands pressing against each other. Your call. Let's take a big inhale together and sigh it out. Ah, one more of these. Ah, let's all. Another big inhale, please. And let it go. Good. Please crawl to hands and knees. And just slowly begin cat-cows. Wrist directly under shoulders, shoulder blade pressing down the back, gripping with the entire hand instead of just dumping into the wrists. And then in your own time, with your own breath, drop the belly down, lift the head and the tail up for inhale, and then rounding with each exhale. Inhaling and exhaling, cat and cow. Good. Now begin to relax the jaw and the forehead. We're trying to go just a little bit further with each inhale, pulling the shoulder blades down the back. And exhale, rounding the back, stretching the spine a little bit. And then when you're ready, do some free flow movement. You can roll the shoulders around the wrists, or you can do big circles with the torso and the hips. Just kind of move in a way that feels really good for your body. Getting into the spine and shoulders and the hips. And then if you're doing the rolls, reverse the direction. If you were doing the shoulder rolls, maybe do hip rolls now. And then when you're ready, find neutral spine. Pull up with the lower abdominals. Press the shoulder blades down the back and widen the collarbone. Relax through the neck, but have the back of the neck long. And then lift the right knee up. And then big circles with that right knee. Trying to keep both hips pointing down. In whatever direction you're rotating, reverse the direction. Good. And then send that right leg out straight. So the bottom of the foot is grounded, the toes are facing forward. Good. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Good. Continue like that. Inhale, cow. Keep the knife edge of the foot grounded. Exhale, cat. One more. Cat. Good, neutral spine again, lower abdominals engaged to keep the spine long. And then lift the left arm up and dive that left arm underneath the right hand. The shoulder comes to the ground, maybe the head comes to the ground, and just breathe. If you can, engage this right thigh, pull up with the belly and allow yourself to twist with the belly. Good. Ground through the right hand again. Inhale, open the left arm up, and exhale, ground it down. Good. Walk the hands in closer to the body and then bring the hands to the hips. So you're standing on the left knee and the right leg is grounded. The knife edge of the foot is grounded. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, lateral stretch over to the right. You want to stretch, lengthen through the hip. Good. And if you feel funny in the neck, I always just move the head around a little bit to kind of loosen that up and allow it to align naturally. Good. Take a couple more breaths. Good. Inhale, reach both arms up. And exhale, both hands down. Pull the shoulders over the hands. And then bring the knee back. And just wiggle everything out. You can roll the shoulders, wiggle the hips, whatever feels good for you. And then when you're ready, lift the left knee up. Big circles. Big hip circles. Trying to keep both hip points facing down. And then reverse the direction. Good. Send that left leg out long, ground through the knife edge. Inhale, cat, or cow rather. Drop the belly, lift the head. Exhale, cat. 2 more. Good. Inhale to neutral spine, shoulder blades down the back. Walk the hands in closer to the knee, and then bring the hands to the hips. Stabilize yourself first, ground to the knife edge of that foot. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, lateral stretch over to the left. Good. Keep pushing the hips forward, lengthening out of the hip, lengthening the waist, allowing the neck to relax. Shoulder blades down the back, ribs nice and tight in. Good. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, hands down. Good. Inhale, reach the right arm up. Exhale, dive that right arm underneath. Let the shoulder land and then the head. And then allow yourself to twist from the belly. Press into that left hand. Inhale, open up. Exhale, plant the hand down. Both knees on the ground and wiggle it out. Roll the shoulders, wiggle the hips. Do whatever feels best for you. Good. Now look down at the hands and spread your fingers out as wide as you can. I like to point my hands just a little bit out toward the corners of the mat so I can push my shoulder blades down the back a little bit more and have more space here in the neck and the ears. Good. Now send the right foot back, the ball of the foot on the ground. Engage that right thigh, straighten that right leg as much as you can and engage your core. Push into the hands. Send the left ball of the foot back, engage both thighs. Breathe. Back of the neck is really long. One more breath. Exhale, stay. Inhale. Exhale, press back to down dog. Good. Wiggle around, relax the neck. Push the hands into the ground. See if you can feel the entire surface area of the palm into the ground. And then even the fingertips. Push the shoulder blades down the back. You can bend the knees, wiggle the hips. Walk your dog, whatever feels good here. Try to keep lots of space between the shoulders and the ears. Good. And the next 2 breaths, we'll find stillness. Good, and then the next inhale, please slowly lift the right heel high, keeping both hips pointed down. Exhale, slowly lower. Keep the lower abdominals engaged. Inhale, left heel. Exhale, slowly lower. One more time each side. Right heel. Both hips stay pointed down. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left heel, lifting from the inner thigh, if you can find that. And exhale, slowly lower. Good. Inhale, hands and knees, lift the head and the tail. And then exhale, round the back, push the hips to the heels, and find a child's pose. You can widen the knees or keep the knees in close, whatever feels good for your body. And just take 3 breaths here. Next inhale, pull yourself up to a cow pose, head and tail lifts. And then exhale, round it to a cat. Curl the toes under, keep this cat, and from the cat, push yourself up to down dog. Use the lower abdominals. Good, we're gonna do breath to movement like that. Inhale, back to cow, hands and knees, toes tucked under. Exhale, untuck the toes, round the back, hips to heels, forehead close to mat. Good, inhale, lift your chest forward, head and tail lift, cow. Exhale, curl the toes under, press your hips to the sky. Good, inhale, cow. Exhale, untuck the toes, round the back, press hips to heels, child's pose. Inhale, cow. Curl the toes under, press the hips back. Yeah. Hold here. Good, next inhale, lift the right heel. Exhale, bring your shoulders over the wrists and bring the knee into the chest. Inhale, extend the heel. Exhale, bring the knee into the chest. Look past the palms and step the foot between the palms. Come to your fingertips and they're lined up with the toes. You're high on the ball of the back foot and you're squeezing the outer hips in toward each other and the inner thighs towards each other too. Pull up with the navel to lengthen through the hips. Look forward slightly. Good, take 1 breath. And then bend both knees and rock the hips back and forth. Step the left foot up to meet the right, forward fold. Good, inhale, flat back, strong core, strong legs. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, strong core, flat back, strong legs. Exhale, fold forward. Good, line the fingertips up with the toes. And then lift the right leg back. Find your lunge on the opposite side. Outer hips squeeze in, inner thighs squeeze together, core lengthens. Long through the neck, heart wide open. Good, plant the palms flat, step back to down dog. Good, inhale, hands and knees, lift the head and the tail. Exhale, round child's pose. Good, inhale, lift the head and the tail, cow. Exhale, curl the toes under, send it back down dog. Good, same thing left side, lift the left heel. Exhale, knee to chest, shoulder blades down the back. Inhale, press the heel back up. Exhale, knee to chest, bring the foot all the way between the palms. Mind the toes and the fingertips up. Pull the shoulder blades down the back, wide through the collarbone. Outer hips squeeze in, inner thighs squeeze together. Core is lengthening through the waist. And then bend both knees, rock yourself back and forth, and find forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold forward. Strong legs in an inhale, bring you all the way up. Lengthen through the hips, lengthen through the waist. Exhale, hands down, any way that feels good for you. Good, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back, strong core, strong legs. Exhale, fold. Line the fingertips up with the toes. Lift the left heel up, send it back. Lunge. Outer hips squeeze in, inner thighs squeeze in, collarbone wide. Good. Plant the palms, step back, down dog. Inhale, hands and knees, head and tail up. Exhale, round the backs and the hips to the heels. And rest in child's pose, 3 breaths. One more. Inhale up to cow, head and tail lift. Curl the toes under, send the hips to the sky, down dog. Good, lift the right heel up. And open up the hip, drop the heel in toward the bottom, and then open the hip out wide while trying to keep the shoulders squared. Good, try to really lengthen through the waist and the hips. Good, re-square the hips down, the right hip points back down to the ground, heel reaches up, lifting through the inner thigh, and the next exhale slowly brings that leg back down. Same thing left side, lift the left, open the hip out wide, drop the heel in toward the bum, and try to keep the shoulders squared, opening, lengthening through the waist and the hips. Good, re-extend the leg, point that hip back down, and then on an exhale, slowly lower that foot. Good, look up between the palms, and take as much time as you need to find the top of your mat. Take the feet a little bit wider than your hips, not all the way to the edge of the mat, but close. Bend your knees, and then let your weight just roll forward. If you have blocks, you can use blocks. If you can reach the ground, that's great. Or you can grab for opposite elbows. You want to focus on really pushing the feet into the ground to lengthen the back of the legs. And try to keep the head of the torso close into the body. So if you can, tuck the chin. Try not to be looking around, looking up and around with the head. Good. On the next exhale, drop the hands down, heel toe the feet in to about under the hips. I don't know, a fist and a half distance apart. Bend the knees, tuck your hips and roll yourself all the way up. Shoulders roll, head lifts. Good. Steady your gaze, hands by the sides, and lift the right knee up in front of the right hip. Good. You can hang out here if you like, steady gaze. You can bring the heel in toward the inner thigh of the left foot, or you can do a more advanced pose, grabbing the inside of the foot and bringing that heel behind your bottom, trying to stretch the thigh. All are great poses, steady gaze, steady breath. And then when you feel ready, gently release. Inhale, let it go. Same thing left side. Left knee comes up in front of the hip. Steadiness is key. Stay here. Bring the heel to the inside of the right thigh. Oops. Or bring the foot behind the back and grab the inside of the foot. Breathe. Good. When you're ready, gently release. Inhale. And sigh it out. Let it go. Good. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back, strong core. Exhale, fold, line the fingertips up with the toes. Send the right foot back, find the ball of the foot, squeeze the outer thighs, inner thighs together, shoulder blades down the back. Now from here, I like to pump the navel to the spine. My core is gonna move me, so I have all the awareness of what's gonna move me. My base is relaxed, and then I use my core to lift myself up, reach the arms overhead. Try to square both headlights, these hip pointers, to the top edge of your mat. And sink as low as you can with those hip pointers pointing forward. Everything's really squeezing in tight here in the hips and the waist. Breathe. Two more breaths. Good. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. And hinge from the hips. Keep the elbows out wide and let your torso go long. Pull the navel back to the spine. Keep the hips even. You can hang out here, or you can fly the arms behind you. Really trying to engage the triceps. I wiggle my pinkies so I know where my triceps are. Core is engaged, outer hips engaged, neck relaxed. Good. Inhale back up to crescent lunge, arms up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, hands down. One hand on either side of the left foot. Good. You can plant the right palm here or stay on the fingertips, whatever feels best for you. If you're tired, come back down to the right knee. We're going to open up to a twist toward that left knee. Lengthening through the side bodies. One more breath. Exhale that hand down outside of the left foot. Plant the palms down. Step back, down dog. Good. Inhale, hands and knees, head and tail up. Exhale, press it back to child's pose. 3 breaths here. If you feel your heart's getting a little fluttered, try to make your exhales longer. One more breath. Inhale, cow, head and tail high. Exhale, curl the toes under, send the hips up. Down dog. Good. Inhale, look between the palms and walk the feet up. Take the feet out wide, not all the way to the edge of the mat. Bend your knees a lot. See if you can actually let the torso be close to the thighs. And then from there, push the feet into the ground and lift the hips. Chin to the chest. Whatever you're doing with your arms is okay. Just let them be heavy and help you fold forward. Good. Release the hands, heel toe the feet in to about under the hips. A fist and a half width distance. Bend your knees, use your core. Roll yourself up. Good. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back, strong core. Exhale, fold. Line the fingertips up with the toes. Shoulder blades down the back. Left foot back. Find the lunge. Squeeze the outer hips, the inner thighs together. Lengthen through the spine. Good. Pump the navel to the spine a couple times. And then when you feel ready, lift yourself up, crescent lunge. Both headlights facing forward, really long through the waist, navel to the spine, long through the tail. Breathe. Good. Exhale, hands to the heart. Keep the elbows out wide, and then just hinge from the hips. Long core, core engaged. You can bring the hands behind you if you'd like. Wiggle the pinkies to find the triceps. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Core is engaged. Good. Inhale, back up, crescent. Good. Exhale, hands down either side of the right foot. You can come down to the back knee if you'd like. You can keep the left fingertips on the ground or plant the left hand, whatever feels best. Open up for a twist. So really long to the torso. Good. Exhale, hand down. Plant the palms down. Step back, down dog. Inhale, hands and knees, head and tail up. Exhale, round the back to child's pose. Rest. One more standing series. Inhale, lift to cow. Exhale, curl the toes under, press to down dog. Walk the hands back toward the feet now. Ground through the heels. Make sure the feet are hip width distance, so that's a fist to a fist and a half apart. Bend your knees and roll yourself up. Roll the shoulders around. Press the feet into the ground, lift through the lower belly, and keep the ribs in nice and tight. Shoulder blades down the back, shoulders relax, long to the neck. Lift the right knee up in front of the hip. Option one, stay here, hands can come to the hips, or hands can reach up so you can really feel your core, your call. From here, you can keep the knee bent, or you can straighten the leg out. I like to point the toes, some people like to flex. Whatever feels best for you, long through the core, lean back a little bit. And then flex the foot to bring it back down to the ground. Release the arms if you lifted them, inhale. Side up. Same thing, other side. Push the feet into the ground, pull up with the navel, lower ribs in, long through the neck, relax through the face. Steady gaze, lift the left knee up. Take your time here. Hips even. If you'd like to reach the arms up to lengthen through the waist, you're welcome to. If that doesn't work for you, don't do it. And if you'd like, you can straighten the leg out. Lean back just a little bit. Push the standing leg into the ground. Point or flex the foot. Good. Flex the foot to release. And let it all go. Shake it off a little bit. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back, strong core. Exhale, walk the hands forward, and we're going to find a plank. You can hold here for 5 breaths, 2 breaths, 7 breaths, whatever feels best for you. I'm at 4. And then when you're ready, lower to the knees. And just sit back onto the heels if that's comfortable for you. If it's not comfortable for you, you can stand on the knees. Roll the right shoulder around and the left shoulder around, the right shoulder around and the left shoulder, and then reverse the direction. If you want to do both shoulders at the same time, you can. Good. Inhale, open the arms out wide. Exhale, bring the right elbow underneath the left elbow, and you're stacking, you're putting that left elbow point right in to the point of the right elbow, keeping those glued together. You can grab for opposite shoulders, or you can wrap your hands around again if that is okay in your body, keeping the elbows glued together. And just big circles. Now see if you can keep those ribs knitted in as you lift the elbows as high as you can. Press the shoulder blades down the back. Maybe you want to lean back a little bit. Keep the ribs down. Good. Now pull those elbows in towards your belly button, round through the back of the neck, squeeze, 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 pull up in the navel. And then inhale, open out, release the arms. Exhale, switch them out. Right elbow point goes into that inner eye of the left elbow. Grab for opposite shoulders or wrap around again. And just move it around. Move everything around, feeling the shoulder blades. Breathe. Good. When you're ready, pull those lower ribs in, nice and tight, strong core. Lift the elbows high, shoulder blades down the back. If you'd like, you can lean back a little bit. Keep the ribs in nice and tight. And then when you've had enough, stay here as long as it feels good for you. When you've had enough, bring those elbows to the belly button, round, pull the navel to the spine, relax through the back of the neck. Good. Inhale, open out. Exhale, release. Good. Please stand on your knees. Some people like to tuck the toes under, that gives them more stability. Some people like to really press the tops of the feet into the ground. Try what feels good for you. Roll the right shoulder around so the shoulder's externally rotated and bring it to the lower back. Same thing with the left, really wide through the collarbone. And then pull up with the navel to drop the tail down. Pull up with the navel to drop the tail down. See if you can press your inner thighs back. Inner thighs back. Long through the tail, open through the heart. And then just begin to lift the heart up, push the hips forward, lean back just a little bit. And on the exhale, pull yourself, make your front of the body really long to pull yourself back up. Tail stays long the whole time. Inhale, lift back. Exhale, pull yourself up. 2 more like that. Maybe each time go back just a millimeter, maybe an inch further. Lengthening. And back. Elbows point back. Inhale. Exhale. Good. This next one we're going to hold for 3 breaths. Go back as far as you can. Push the hips forward. Pull up with the navel. Shoulder blades down the back. Hips forward, hips forward, hips forward. Neck relaxed. Hold. Good. Inhale. Lift yourself up. Exhale. Hips to heels. Forehead to mat. You could bring the hands by your heels or out in front, wherever feels best for you. Please take 3 breaths. We're going to come back and do that one more time. Roll one shoulder blade down the back. Bring the hand to the lower back. Elbows point back. Same thing with the other side. Elbow points back. You're trying to really rotate those shoulder blades open. Pull up with the navel to lengthen through the tail. Push the inner thighs back. Good. Inhale, lengthen up. This time we're going to use an exhale to let the head fall back. Push the hips forward. Go as far back as is comfortable. Make sure you're using your feet, whether they're tucked in or not. 2 more breaths. Hips forward, hips forward. 1 more breath. And slowly, 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 lovingly release. Allow the hips to come to the heels, your arms to fall where they may, and your forehead to rest on the ground. Please come to hands and knees, sweep the feet around to one side or the other, and send the legs out in front of you. So here I'm going to keep my feet hip width distance, but my feet The bottoms of my feet are gonna be flat. It's like there's a block holding my feet flat. So you can bend your knees if you want. Most quote unquote advanced variation of this pose is ankles together and legs straight, but I like to give myself a little grace. So I take feet hip width distance, bending the knees. Any of these variations or anywhere in between is fine. Pull up with the navel, reach the arms up, lengthen out of the side body. So really try to get really long in the right side body, really long in the left side body, and then the front and the back. Make sure one's not longer than the other. And then from here on the next exhale, your feet are still flexed. Exhale, hinge from the hips and reach as far forward as you can. Good. Inhale, pull yourself back up using your core. Reach, reach, reach. Keep everything lengthened. 2 more like that. Exhale, reach, reach, reach. Wiggle the fingertips, get further. Inhale, back up. Exhale, reach, 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 reach. And then from here, just let the hands fall where they may. Well, remembering we're trying to find length. So I like to reach forward. I like to grip with my fingertips. And then push the shoulder blades down the back. Find your core. Push the heart forward with your core. Keep the feet flexed. And then from here, if you'd like, you can begin to straighten the legs. And then after you've gotten the legs as straight as possible, then allow the head to round in. I always feel like my body's a pitcher and my head's the top of the pitcher and I'm pouring something into the ground. Breathe. Ready? Just slowly walk yourself up. Bring the hands a little behind the hips. Plant the feet on the ground, mat's width distance. And then just drop the knees left to right, right to left. And you can go as fast or as slow as you want here. We're going to be here about, 30 seconds. So if you want to hold, you can hold. Just paying attention to the hips. If the following hip comes off of the ground, that's great. If it doesn't, that's great. Just let your body do what it wants to do. If you really want to work on mobility, you can keep the chest lifted. About 10 more seconds here, just dropping the knees left to right or holding. Now walk the feet a little further out and cross the right ankle over the left knee. Now look at that ankle. You want a nice 90-degree angle there. And then you want to externally rotate this right thigh. The right thigh bone is externally, the femur is externally rotating in the hip bone, the hip socket. Good, now lift your chest. And then if it's possible, you can bring that left foot in closer to your hips. Try to keep everything, the heart lifted, the neck relaxed. Good. Nice 90-degree angle still with that ankle. Breathe. If you think you can go a little further, bring the heel in closer to the bottom, bring the chest in closer to the legs. Good, and then walk that heel out to release. Release the foot. And you can just drop the knees in together, open and close the knees, maybe wiggle the hips. Same thing, second side, left ankle crosses over. Check out that ankle. Is it a 90-degree angle? And if you'd like, you can walk the right heel in closer to the hips. Really lengthen through the spine here. Keep that 90-degree angle in the left ankle. Breathe. When you're ready, release, walk that foot out, release the left foot, feet out, mat's width distance again, same thing. Drop the knees left to right. Maybe you want to hold this time. If you didn't, maybe you want to just rock back and forth. If you held last time, maybe you want to do the mobility challenge with spine up. I bring hands to the heart. And then whenever you're ready, plant the feet down, reach the arms forward, and roll back one vertebrae at a time. If you really want to work core, maybe you can hover the feet and have a nice core exercise here. If you have worked hard enough today, land on your back and take a couple extra breaths on your spine. plant the feet as close to the bottom as you comfortably can if you feel like you have a super flexible spine. If you feel like your spine is not so flexy, you can walk the feet out a little bit further. And then what we want to focus on in this next exercise is pushing the feet down into the ground. So what muscles we use to do that is our thighs mostly, our core a lot. We zip up with the core to lengthen the tail, and that helps us push down with the thighs. Good. When you feel ready, ground through those feet, lift the hips, use the thighs, use the core, and then see if you can push the shoulders into the mat to help you go a little bit higher. Pull up with the core. The glutes are working just a little bit. Breathe. Push down with the shoulders. If you want to interlace the fingers, you're welcome to. 2 more breaths. Good. When you're ready to release, release slowly. Good. Take the feet even wider than the mat and then drop the knees in toward one another. So your inner thighs are kissing, your knees are kissing, your feet are really out wide. And then here, I like to bring my hands to my body and feel my breath. That might feel great for you. You might want to keep your arms out wide. Take about 3 breaths here, allowing the lower back to lengthen, concentrating on that tail just lengthening. Good. Walk those feet back in together. Send the left leg out long. Bring the right knee into the chest and allow the left hand to rest on top of the right knee. Open the right arm out wide like a T. And first just feel that right shoulder blade grounded. Really ground through that right shoulder blade. After you feel like you've grounded through that right shoulder blade, allow that the right knee to twist across the body. And don't go further than the right shoulder can be grounded. Allow the belly button to lengthen through the waist and the hips. And just breathe here. And what I always do in these twisty poses, these poses with the neck can get wonky. I just look left to right and let my head decide where my head wants to be. And then just allow it to hold there. The right shoulder blade is grounded, most important part here. Excellent. When you feel ready, roll back onto your back. Bring both knees into your chest. You can rock from side to side. And then when you feel ready, right leg goes out long. Right hand comes on top of the left knee, just gently. And then open the left arm wide like a T. And then take a couple breaths here. My left shoulder blade is grounded. And then once you can feel that weight holding you down at the back of the left shoulder blade, then allow your body to twist over the right. The left knee twists. And just go as far as is comfortable for that left shoulder blade to be grounded. And see if you can lengthen through the waist by pulling the navel to the spine, feeling the tail get longer when you pull the navel to the spine. And again with the head, maybe you found a good head position for you, maybe your neck feels a little wonky. Just let the head move around until you find your spot. And pull back to your back. Bring both knees into the chest. And keeping the spine flat on the ground. See how much of your spine you can get to the ground. Maybe tuck the chin, pull the navel to the spine to really push that lower back into the ground. And then once you get that, squeeze the knees in tighter. And then keep those knees squeezed in, keep that back pressing down to the ground. And we're going to do just a couple breaths here. Big inhale. hold. Keep the back pressing down, keep the knees pulling in, exhale. One more of those, inhale. Inhale more, hold, keep everything pressing down. Keep the knees in, exhale. One more. Inhale as much as you can. Keep inhaling it until you can't anymore, and then inhale a little more. Hold, squeeze. Hold, squeeze. And then exhale, release to Shavasana. Feel the skull flat on the mat. Feel the shoulder blades heavy, the hips. And just relax here. Wiggle around as you need to until you find your shape. And we're going to take a nice solid 5-minute Shavasana. Allowing yourself to relax. Feeling each part of you that is connected to your mat. Shoulder blades, the back of the skull, the back of the ribs, the lungs, the hips, the heels, the hamstrings, the calves. All relaxing the backs of the hands. Allowing those parts just to feel heavy. Let go of any breath control. Let the forehead widen, the eyeballs relax. And the jaw, the precious jaw and neck relax. Just rest. As you're ready, go ahead and begin to deepen the breath. If you like, you can wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. You roll the wrists and ankles around in circles. Maybe begin to move the knees, the elbows. As you're ready, you can bring the knees into the chest. Maybe roll over to one side and pause there. Just allow yourself to feel what it feels like to begin to wake up again. And in your own time, in your own gentle way, make your way to a position that you'd like to end class. Maybe it's seated. If you'd like to continue laying down, that's your prerogative. It's your practice. If you're seated, please bring the hands to the heart. You're on your back. You can bring one hand on your heart, one on your belly. We'll end class the same way we began. Let's take a big inhale together. Sigh it out. Ah. One more of those. Let it go. Ah. Inhale to Om. Om. Thank you. Thank you.